We're jumping right on in.
We are, man. We are. This is it.
Kicking things off on Lightshade LE. We're in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner. The blue Terran player coming out from the Netherlands. He is representing Team Liquid. Some know him as Dr. Schlappy. Others know him as uThermal.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the Polish Terran player. He is red, representing himself. It is Ziggy, the madman.
Absolutely, most unhinged Terran player potentially in the entire world.
I would not disagree with that.
Who comes close? Soul? Coffee?
Yeah, exactly.
Ziggy, man.
I was about to say that you were introducing uThermal as the educator, and I was like, is Ziggy the one who failed his education but like still found success anyway? Is that
Ziggy is the one who said, "I don't need your education, old dude.
He was
gonna make it on my own."
Yeah,
he was.
And I was even asking you, when we were on break, mate, how many Raxes? Because Ziggy, he's a madman who just does his own thing. He has his own style. And he's opening up with a 2-Rax.
Indeed, he is. So 2-Rax Reaper. And a bit of an unorthodox opening, to say the least, in TVT. Definitely something you don't see nowadays, but still something that is within the realms of reason, shall we say. You can definitely transition out of it to more of a standard game if you're unable to beat your opponent immediately. We'll see how Ziggy does so, though.
Exactly, and the other thing that we have to bear in mind that does hold weight is that Ziggy, he has a reputation, right? Like, uThermal knows how Ziggy plays. He should know how Ziggy plays, right? That is why, like, uThermal did open up with a Rax into factory. Like, he's not going for an early CC. Like, he's playing this relatively safe. Reaper comes across the map, and uThermal, he's gonna have his own units to respond.
Yeah, he will. He even SCV scouts around the edges of his bases, just in case there's any progress coming out. He will be able to kill that Reaper immediately. Dang, good thing Ziggy's going for 2-Rax.
Yes, this is not a good start for Ziggy, I must say. I mean, thankfully, Ziggy behind this, like, he has a faster CC. Sure, that's great and all, but again, like, losing a Reaper like that hurts because, mate, we're gonna have Hellions coming out.
Oh yeah, you thought Reaper versus Reaper was a little bit one-sided. Throwing some Hellions in the mix, and that's really what's gonna put things in uThermal's favor as he reacts out those Reapers. He's looking to be as aggressive as he can be across the map once he can counterattack.
And I'm really worried here. Like, if uThermal does counterattack with these Hellions, with his Reapers, and he can snowball. Shouldn't get too much though. Maybe force a lift on the low ground CC. Maybe find a way into the main base. Regardless, like, he will be the one with map control.
Well, once these next 2 Reapers get out and this final Hellion finishes producing, uThermal has the opportunity to go across the map immediately, and he will be able to snowball from there. But yeah, maybe you're gonna wait a little bit for a starport unit. Nope, just going straight across the map.
Yeah, and I'm worried because he's being so greedy behind this. Like, he's delayed his factory for a 3rd CC, mate. He has a 3rd CC on the way. He's so greedy. In comes uThermal. Like, oh my god.
Completely catching Ziggy off guard. His Reapers were not in position whatsoever. One single Hellion is going to finish off that one Reaper. Will uThermal go for the throat? He can if he so wanted to. Return jump in. There are a lot of Marines here, though.
Oh my god.
A deterrent, but not when they come within range of the Hellion flames. They get immediately wiped out.
Meanwhile, Ziggy's counterattacking with his Reapers. Meanwhile, there are Marines here to stop him. Oh my god, as the first Reaper goes down, there are only 2 Reapers remaining here for Ziggy. Meanwhile, Tech Lab gets taken out. Stim is denied.
And everything else will fall. The SCVs are lining up perfectly. GG immediately. uThermal throwing some discipline Ziggy's way.
Stay at school, kid. Oh my god. uThermal with the perfect response, mate.
Absolutely. I can already imagine the head shaking going on in uThermal right now. Like, what was he thinking, man? I'm hoping uThermal makes an analysis video. of a series.
That would be a lot of fun, to be honest.
It really would.
Oh my god. But mate, Ziggy the Madman opened up 2 racks and went into a 3rd CC. He's crazy.
I was definitely hoping he... It kind of felt like he was hoping he struck fear into Ziggy, into uThermal with his initial Reaper that got killed across the map, and just was like, alright, you know, I got a map control. What are you gonna do about it? No, that was a bit of a miscalculation, my friend.
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, if uThermal was scared and more defensive, then Ziggy would have maybe gotten away with it, would have gotten ahead.
Absolutely.
It was a big risk that he took, but, you know, it's a risk that didn't pay off.
Yeah, if you notice, uThermal wasn't even getting a 3rd base until the very end of the game, if even. So yeah, if uThermal was a lot more passive, then Ziggy would have been able to run full steam ahead of his economy. So many mules that he'd have available, so many SCVs as well. Definitely be able to fund a mech army if he so wanted to, or even just a better bio army. But regardless, that was game number 1. This is game number 2. It is going to be on Romanticide LE. We're here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We have our red Terran player coming out from the land of Poland. He is currently teamless, but he is also a fellow commentator here in the Polish language. He is Ziggy.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the blue Terran player hailing from the land of the Netherlands, representing Team Liquid. It is uThermal.
So glad they got them different accounts here for DreamHack. As it comes to the group stages, I believe he was still playing as uThermal in the qualifiers.
He was. I do love that they made a meme, or a little bit of a meme about it. I don't know if you saw, a video was posted where ESL, they asked the players what they thought about uThermal and posted that video on social media.
That's great.
And uThermal tried to defend himself. He's like, look, I'm not a weeb, okay? Like, chat kind of made it happen one day, and I stuck with it. It's like, sure, whatever you say, buddy, whatever you say, Mark, all right? We all know you love your anime.
Shaking my head, Mark.
Oh, God, shaking my head.
Mr. M. Schlappy. But already a pretty good sign coming out from Ziggy this time. Opting for a much more standard one. I want to say 1-1-1. Is he even going to get the star point?
Like
I have to hesitate when I say that.
That's the thing, right? Okay, we're on Romanticide. You know, the largest map, it can be difficult to proxy and be aggressive. We don't see that second racks. But it's Ziggy we're talking about, right? It's Ziggy. Like, he's got to have something else up his sleeve. Is he going to go mech? Is he going to go, like, mass blue flame?
Seeing is always believing when it comes to Ziggy. You cannot make a prediction until the very end, but okay, it is going to be a 1-1-1. Seems like he's taking a bit of a page from uThermal, at least from that previous game, so opting for maybe more of a reacted Reaper opening here in conjunction with some Hellions. We'll see.
Exactly. I'm very curious because, again, I imagine he's going to go for a drop here, just by looking at the way it's rallied. He's obviously not going to switch with any kind of add-on or anything like that. Meanwhile, uThermal is opening up fairly standard, just like he did in the previous game, even scouting around to make sure nothing crazy is going on.
Yeah, being as active as he can be with what little map control he has. Same thing with Ziggy here. And I like that possibility you mentioned earlier on with this medevac. I was gonna be like, yes, dropship. And I'm like, no, that's a brute war unit. What's the name? Starts with an M. But yeah, I do like the possibility here of Ziggy going for a bit of a multi-prong. Hellions in the main base, Reapers coming in from the natural. He's got a lot of options with this medevac.
Oh, but look at this. Like, he's covering the Reaper cliff. Like, uThermal's ready for this. Oh, but he moves out just as Ziggy is moving in. Oh, never mind. Okay, he was just checking the edges. Does return back to position.
Yeah, definitely not taking any unnecessary risks here. uThermal isn't.
Yeah, that he is not. Meanwhile, Ziggy's just waiting for his medevac, and uThermal's moving out. He's going to run into the army.
Oh, he's got a big army supply, but there will be a medevac here. Potential for hot pickups, but not before. A bunch of units get taken out. Gets right on top of his Reapers. Ziggy is able to save what remains. But that was already such a momentum stopper here.
Oh god, that it is. Again, Ziggy has to be so careful, already losing quite a number of his units, but it looks like he will be able to push uThermal away.
Yeah, a lot of his own units are in the red, and he does not want to tangle with Reapers when they have medevac support.
That he does not. And again, with this medevac, if he wanted to, if he so chose, he could try and dive into the main base. Regardless, he does at least have map control. He does at least force uThermal to stay at home.
We're actually going to get a longer game here. All right, that's a pleasant surprise.
Longer. We're getting over the 5-minute mark.
Longer relatively. Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully. Oh god, as another heli does get picked off. Oh god, and I'm still really concerned because the Raven is about to pop out. We're gonna have a tank as well, like uThermal. He could push out, and Ziggy, he's still struggling to produce here. He's still working on his first tank.
He is. Should be able to get it by the time the push happens, but what more will uThermal really have? Keeping these Reapers alive actually gives him the option to try to jump on top of the tanks if he sees that they're a little bit too exposed. He's been doing such a good job of just trading efficiently, positioning his units in key defensive areas.
That's what I'm most worried about. Like, again, uThermal, he just has so much supply to work with, so much potential there to really just get on top of this army, and already he picks off the medevac.
Super important to get that targeting in early. uThermal absolutely knew what the win condition in that battle was going to be. Now Ziggy, he's trying to continue to assert himself. He wants to be active on the map, but yeah, he's just down in supply. He doesn't have the medevac to hot pick up if things go sour, or even just support what few units he has.
Definitely. Meanwhile, we do have a bit of Raven harass here into the main base. Only 2 SCVs do go down. Meanwhile, uThermal, there we go. This is what I was worried about. He is ready to push out across the map. He has his 2 Ravens. He has his 2 tanks. And Ziggy, he's in position outside his natural. But mate, that is not where uThermal's going.
Not at all. He would be able to completely shut down any aggression if uThermal went up that ramp. But that's a very big if here.
Yeah, exactly, as he does get up the ramp. Ziggy will scout this, by the way. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but he does spot the army. He can reposition.
Oh, but it's not going to be enough time. One tank will unsiege, but I fear that that's too little, too late. Another one will siege up in the back line. Raven's out of energy, but not before disabling a tank and throwing down a ton of auto turrets. Decent spread here from uThermal. Will be able to deal with the tanks. Not a lot of bio remaining, though, and that can be scary.
Exactly. Meanwhile, there we go. It looks like the final tank of Ziggy will fall, but there are only 2 tanks remaining here for uThermal. Is this enough to really break through? It shouldn't be, but he's going for it anyway.
Yeah, it should be enough to break through, but it's enough to keep him in this fight for him to maintain a bit of a foothold as more reinforcements make their way across the map.
Yeah, what are we watching? We see 2 unsieged tanks stepping against SCVs, mate.
And you know what? The SCVs killed a tank.
They did kill 1 tank.
16 of them went down, but...
Yeah, they bought enough time for a second tank to come out, but there's no answer. Yeah, the Raven could fall. Ooh, but 2 Vikings come out just in time for Ziggy.
Fun fact, though, 2 is, in fact, less than 3.
True. The math is there. Oh my god, and now uThermal...
Dominant, yes. GG is called, and uThermal will be taking that series 2-0, proving that you should stay in school.